Hey, are you ready? Welcome to the SAYMICHAEL podcast. Hey. What's going on? Welcome to the SAYMICHAEL podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. I am your host, Michael Agbajan, and we are here at episode 26. And every time I get to a new episode, I'll tell you about how excited I am to get there and how us being here together to catch up on things is so incredible. You know, the entrepreneur's journey is hard, and the fact that you all are here to join me and help me get through it is incredible, because there's a lot of things going on. And one of the things that's going on that's not really being said currently is something of the past. And it makes me think about, what happened during, and I wasn't there, during the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Because we just got through, passing Juneteenth. And I didn't know a lot about what Juneteenth was. No one really taught me or showed me any historical background of it. Like, it was almost like, I just thought it was just some other random holiday that people just chose. I never knew until this year the meaning of why they celebrate Juneteenth. And, if you go back, take a little, look into the past, and you see about when the Emancipation Proclamation passed, and the issue that I see, this is me personally, how I see it, is that, okay, when you freed all the enslaved people, and and as anybody knows, when it comes to any type of a divorce or custody battle, the person they say suffers the most are the kids, right? Because they're innocent, but yet some people have resentment towards them, or the parents may have, or anything that might happen, because it's the collateral damage of divorce and custody battles. But when all the enslaved people were released and freed, the thing that America and the slave owners and all they forgot to do is they forgot to say thank you. And it's unfortunate, because it happens to a lot of people, where you do things for people, and in the end, they forget to say thank you. You say you could do something nice. They say, hey, congratulations on graduating. And they not say anything, because some people are too busy and they overlook the importance of saying thank you. But the importance of saying thank you in this case is that, the use of enslaved people to help build and give the head start of this country. And then when you freed them, I feel like if they had a choice, they would have said, let's return these people. Let's return them back to Africa. But instead, they have 4 generations separated all through America. So whenever they were freed, there was no honoring, no thank yous, or no appreciations or anything given towards them. And that's super unfortunate. You see a lot of monuments when it comes to Confederate monuments or things of that nature, honoring those who own slaves and honoring those who want to keep, slavery to continue it, the practice of slavery. But you don't really see anything that truly thanked and honored and showed respect towards the enslaved people of this country. And that's super unfortunate, because, as soon as they even gave reparations, where, we still fight for reparations to this day in this country. But they even gave, upon Emancipation Proclamation, reparations to the slave owners. And they gave them reparations because of the financial loss they were taking on from freeing their slaves, which is super unfortunate. And I feel like if there was going to be any type of healing that will be done in this country, a lot of it will have to be looked at first. I know it's not the only thing, but I do feel like a potential remedy is to pay homage and honor those who helped, give this country a head start. I feel like it's so important, but that's what they're like, that's what I'm not going to do. That's what they say. That's what I'm not going to do is say thank you. Because people have resentment, and it's just collateral damage. The freely slave people were just collateral damage with the whole Emancipation Proclamation, and that type of I don't know if you call it resentment has spilled over to even now in the present. But it's just unfortunate because you see a lot of people taking down statues and trying to take down like different monuments honoring those that did not give near the contribution that the enslaved people did, and that's unfortunate. But I just wanted to kind of start with that because that was on my mind. So I hope you understand that. But I had an interesting conversation today. I'd like to give a shout out to Apple. I was on the phone with Apple Care for about 6 hours today. They took up most of my day, and it was super difficult because I had the kids with me, both my boys, because they shut down the daycare for 2 days. No, I'm not sure if it's 2 days. They shut it down all of a sudden, and then now I'm home with the boys. So I had to take off work, just focus on them, make sure, because I already tried splitting work and trying to do work and watch the boys, and that never worked. So never try that at home. Never try that at home where you try to do work and watch kids. It never work. It will just leave you frustrated. That's actually a little life hack right there. But I was on the phone with Apple Care for about 6 hours because they were trying to figure out a storage issue that I'm having on my iPhone. And I mean, shout out to them for being so patient, and even shout out to myself for being so patient. That's a long time to be on the phone trying to solve a problem, even though the problem hasn't been solved. But something happens. This is what happens with me. Just so you know, get a little tidbit. I don't know what it is about me, but people have a way of getting very comfortable with me very quickly. I don't know if it's a gift. I don't know what it is, but there's something about me or something about the conversation. I don't know what it is, but people seem to want to get really comfortable, which is okay. I welcome it, and people share things, that they never shared. Like a lot of people and a lot of private things. And on the call with Apple, the gentleman, he was like, "Hey, hold on real quick." I was like, "Okay." I didn't even notice. I was just doing other things on my phone, and then he came back and said, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." He's like, "Yeah, I just had to, stop and take my medicine. I have to take it every 2 hours." I was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Every 2 hours?" Like, "Yeah, well, it's a cream that I put on this on my shingles." And then he started explaining. He's like, "Yeah, I put this cream on my shingles, and well, this is what happened. Like last week, I had these red bumps, and I thought they were mosquito bites on the back of my arm, and there's these little red bumps that are there, and I'm listening, I'm like, he said, "There's little red bumps there. I thought they were mosquito bites." And I sent a picture, took a picture of it. I sent it to my doctor, and I said, "Hey man, what do you got for me?" And then he prescribed to me some cortisone cream, and I used the cortisone cream, and after about a week, the rash, it was just not getting better. So it was a little painful, it was itchy. And then I went to ask, like, "Hey, I need to actually go into the doctor." So I went into the doctor, and I took off my shirt, and it hurt even when I peeled off my shirt, because it kind of rubbed against those bumps. But I showed the doctor, and as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh, those are shingles." And I was like, "Shingles?" He's like, "Yeah." And I guess shingles, it's like kind of like a resurgence of chicken pox. I don't know, but for adults. So he gives me the prescription, and he tells me to take it, every 2 hours, and not to forget. And see, I've been taking it for the last 4 days. The redness and the bumps have been getting better, but the pain is still there. So now even when I do take off my shirt, the pain is still there. And it's weird because I could relate a little bit, because I was like, "Yeah, I went to the doctor recently. There's there's kind of bumps that I had on the back of my knee, and my boys had like these like bumps that look like mosquito bites with them and my dad. We all had it like at the same time. And when I went to the doctor, they told me it could be like scabies. So they gave me a cream, and it worked after a couple of days, and it's gone. So I can actually kind of relate. It wasn't shingles, but he's like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, man, I just I take that cream every 2 hours. I try not to forget, and I just put that on. But yeah, so if you could go into settings for me, and if you could go into general iPhone storage, I'm like, oh, okay. What the heck is going on? That was a super interesting conversation. Talk about customer service. Talk about that, man. And this is around the topic of customers and service. I know that I've been hitting the phones, going hard, calling customers, which has been incredible for the growth of the business, the car wash business, and we're actually doing it also for the Barber School. But I had another interesting call, because I always tell you about these interesting calls I have with a customer. And I called this customer, and this customer is from last year, June. So I called, and I was like, hey, how you doing, Jennifer? This is Michael with the Waterboys Car Wash. And she's like, hey, so good to hear from you. I was like, wow, this is going to be a good call. So I'm kind of explaining about seeing if they might be interested in a mobile car wash to come to their home. And she's telling me like, yeah, I'll definitely be interested. And I have 3 cars now, and I would like to, let's do the mini detail for those. And I was like, wow, because the mini detail is $125, right? At least currently. So when she said, I want to do it for all 3 of them, I was like, this is like money in the bank. This is such a great call. So I'm like, man, off this call alone, your boy's bringing in $375 off of one single call. Let's get it, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. When would you like to set it up? And she was like, I want to set it up. I want to set up 2 for, can we do tomorrow? I said, yeah, we could definitely do tomorrow. Let's set up. Okay. And then when do you want to do the third one? She's like, let's do the third one the following day on Thursday. I was like, okay, Thursday. Cool. Okay. And she's like, and then maybe a fourth. We'll have to figure out about that one, but okay. I'm not sure if you remember, we spoke last year, and I bought the gift certificates from you. I was like, gifts? You bought gift certificates? Like, yeah. And then I was like, she's like, yeah, if you want to look, I have the code. I was like, oh, okay, let me look it up for you. And I'm looking it up. Apparently last year, when I contacted her last year, she purchased or pre-purchased like 4 gift certificates for many details. So she paid for them last year. Now, mind you, I already got this money last year, and that money is spent. That money is gone. So when she was like, yeah, is there a way I could use those gift certificates? I was like, sure. Yeah, you could use those gift certificates. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, let's get 2 for this day. And I was just like, so me calling her reminded her that she needed to schedule her services from last year. And, she paid like $500, and those are that's what she's paying for these services with. But hey, it's all good. It keeps my guys busy. It keeps us moving. And I'm glad that, we can give her a call back. So, I'm glad I did give her a call back, because it actually ends up being good for her, because she's like, yeah, I'm glad they, reached back out and, got me back on my services, because, hey, who knows, after us blowing her away this year, she might use this again here in the next few weeks, or maybe even next year, depending on how these calls go. But that was interesting, because I'm thinking there's new money in the bank, and no, I'm cashing in old gift certificates. Super kind of unfortunate, but at the look, it's all good that I had to do that, because your boy's still flossing. I'm still flossing, even though I went to the dentist last week and I got a A+ review on my mouth hygiene. I'm still flossing, so it doesn't matter if I'm cashing in old gift certificates, because your boy's still flossing. You feel me? And but you know what's not going down right now is we actually have to shut down the school. Luckily for only a few days, but it was going to be 2 weeks. Okay, while I was on the phone with the whole Apple Care I was just telling you about, with the guy telling me about his shingles, my mom, she gave me a call and I wasn't able to answer. I texted her, I said, "Hey, I'm on the phone with Apple. I'll give you a call right after." So mind you, while all this is happening, I give her a call back later. So, the whole call was 6 hours. Called her back and she ended up telling me like, "No, it's okay. I already made the decision." I was like, "What was the decision? What happened?" She was like, "Well, I went ahead and sent everybody home and closed the school for 2 weeks." I'm like, 2 weeks? You closing school for 2 weeks? Why? And she's like, "Well, someone tested positive for COVID-19. And so I just went ahead and told everybody like to go home and, shut everything down." And I was just, like, no, we didn't have to shut everything down, and, based on our conversation, there was an update to the whole thing because she's like, "Well, I tried calling you." I was like, "You tried calling me." And all of a sudden now, you shut down entire school for 2 weeks. That is a big move. And, she's like, "Okay, what's the better solution?" I was like, "Well, first, the student who tested positive, she hasn't been in for about a week to a week and a half. So if she hasn't been in for over a week, 2 weeks is 3 weeks. That's longer than the usual quarantine time. So that one's too long." And then second, if someone did test positive, they already are distanced from each other, 6 feet each booth. They're not around each other. And with that, we have to clean down the school. So we got a cleaning crew to come in, or we're having a cleaning crew come in to clean down the entire school, sanitize everything. And after that, we should be open as normal, because every time someone gets sick, whether it be a student or employee or anything like that, we can't shut down the school for 2 weeks every time. We don't know how long this whole COVID-19 situation is going to continue. So to shut down the entire school for 2 weeks every time someone gets diagnosed, they could quarantine. We could quarantine them. And then people who have been in close quarters, which in this case doesn't really happen at the school, have been in close quarters with that person, they could get tested and see. But to close the entire school down for every positive result, it's not going to happen. But man, parents still have a way of gaslighting the situation, because she was like, she's telling me the reason, she couldn't make the reason she made that decision is because, like, hey Junior, I had to make that decision because I couldn't get a hold of you. And then when I'm telling her like, "Hey, you could have waited till we talked later," and she's like, "Well, you weren't available." I was like, "Look, I'm explaining to her like we could have did this." She's like, "Look, I don't like playing this blame game." I'm not playing blame game. You blaming me. You blaming me that I didn't take the phone call. So all of a sudden, it led to this more drastic, conclusion of closing the entire school down. But, we got to get people back in the habit of knowing how consistent and reliable we are as a school, and, closing the doors, randomly, for 2 weeks is going to make people find other alternatives to either going to school or getting their hair cut, for $5. It's not a lot of money, but it's definitely revenue. So I feel like the best solution, especially with the health department, is to, clean everything down, get everything sanitized, and then from there, reopen. Make sure everything's clean, and that's kind of how it's gonna go. But that was interesting. That happened earlier. I know I'm telling you a lot of things that are happening. And since we're talking about closings, Microsoft is closing all their empty stores. they're closing all their stores. They had 83 stores nationwide. And I guess, they saw what Apple was doing, and they said, look at that experience. Look at all those people having a great time in Apple, and, their stores are packed. Microsoft said, if we did the same thing, we're going to pack out our stores. So they had the long wood tables, You know, the same way they had the electronics on the tables, the sitting areas, the bar, like the Genius Bar type situation for Microsoft. And when you go and look at Apple stores, packed. When you go and look at Microsoft stores, empty. And they said, yeah, we're going to close it. We're just going to focus on digital. We're going to go 100% digital, focus on their services because they're already good at iCloud services. They're already leading that right there. And, in software. So for them to open a store made literally no sense. And they made those investments. They said that the investment they made in the stores only cost them about 5 cents per share. So it wasn't like the biggest, investment for them, but they're going to close all the stores. But it does remind me of the Zune versus the iPod. Y'all remember the Zune? If you don't remember, good for you. Apple was becoming super successful when it created the iPod, right? And that's how people carried around all their music, in their pocket. It's I think it said 1 million songs in your pocket or something like that, or 1,000 songs in your pocket. One of those slogans. And Microsoft saw the success that Apple was having, and they said, hey, maybe we should get into the music business. So they created the Zune, the Zune, and that was a catastrophe. They tried to copy exactly how the iPod was done, and that what Microsoft forgot is that they're just not that cool. They're not as cool as Apple, and the fact that they're closing all the stores now, which all the stores were pretty much a copycat, of Apple, but they didn't have Apple type products, so that didn't make sense. Reminds me of the Zune and iPod, which is awkward. It's very awkward for them. And then I also have a revelation that y'all should understand is, okay, we talked, I talked a couple of podcasts ago about the $600 federal stimulus check, or not, the federal unemployment that they would give on top of your regular unemployment. Now, I came to a discovery to find this out, and I'm like, I gotta share this. But everyone was talking about how some people are getting the $600 federal unemployment on top of their regular unemployment, and that it's actually bad for people to have this much money because it's going to keep them out of the workforce, which it did do. That is a key factor of it, that it did keep a lot of people out of the workforce and not looking for a job because they're making so much money, literally doing nothing, through unemployment. But the reason they did it, I didn't know. And a lot of it has to do with our economy is a consumer-based economy. So they gave $600 extra per week, not for people to take care of their bills or make sure that, they save and use that money towards their own personal growth. No, they gave them all that money. So therefore, they could spend it. So they gave them extra money so they could go out and use that money to spend. So the fact that you have been seeing people in the Gucci store and spending everywhere is exactly how it was designed to do. Stimulate the economy by these people who are scared about where the money's coming in to have the extra money to go out and spend. And now that the sugar rush is kind of going down, it's slowing down. Because that's what the anomaly was. The anomaly was how is it that the paychecks are getting smaller for Americans, especially in this COVID-19 space, but how is spending going up? Because spending went up 8%, and the reason why spending went up is because the money that was given to them, the extra money, was actually designed for people to go out and spend it. So and it's funny because you would think that a lot of people would have took that money to save it or to invest in themselves, but they're like, no, I got to get this Gucci belt. And that's exactly what happened. So that $600 extra federal spending was designed specifically for higher spending and more consuming of goods in this country, which is kind of cool because I didn't know that was the function of it. So if that's the case, now that, the spending is going down, I do think that they're going to bring things back because that ends July 31st, where all that stimulus, extra money that's coming in with unemployment, that's when that stops. But then also everyone's getting these student loans kind of like automatically automatically paused, and that's happening with private student loans and government loans, but that's ending in September. So in October, what we got coming, we got a tsunami of student loan defaults that are coming, because it was already hard enough for people to pay the student loans. Now coupled with like job insecurity, up to about 50 million people filing for unemployment, and them saying that now that we paused it for you this long, now you're gonna have to pay it back. Now that that's happening, it's gonna be awkward, because no one's gonna have the money to pay back these student loans. They're already $1.5 trillion in debt based on that. So they're gonna have to figure something out with the student loans, because that tsunami is coming. We already have a lot of people, who are already being evicted. So you got evictions, a tsunami of evictions that are happening as we listen, as we talk right now. And then you have the student loan crisis that's coming in October. Oh, when they say the worst is yet to come, they talk about those things, the abatements and the help that was given that will be taken away. And because of that, these waves of issues, because when the moratorium was lifted for people's housing, you had a bunch of evictions. Now you're seeing that the automatic pause of student loan repayment is going to be unpaused, after September. So that's coming. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, because we're going to have to find new solutions every day. And that, we got to take this again one day at a time. But again, we're in this together, and we're going to find solutions. That's the language we speak here, is solutions. That's the language. But there might not be one for Airbnb, WeWork, and I'm not sure if y'all see it, Oyo Hotel and Uber. They're actually going through crisis right now. I think Warren Buffett, has a quote what that says: once the tides set, you'll see who's swimming naked, something like that. And what happens is that during this whole COVID-19 that's testing a lot of tech companies, the reason it's bursting some of these tech companies is that they were never tech companies to begin with. They had, they had certain technology that was sufficient for when we had like a growing economy. But for what we have right now, where people are able to, like for example, Airbnb, a lot of their success had to do with their technology and linking people with homes and unique experiences. But now that hotels are in on it, the technology doesn't really replace anything, because everyone's doing it too. Same thing with Uber, and that they're suffering really badly right now. And they had a lot to do with their technology of linking people to drivers, and other people are catching up, because even them, Uber, they pop in and out from Uber to Lyft to other ride services, and the taxis are actually catching up when it comes to how they're doing it. But no one's really using those services right now. And then Oyo Hotel, which they're in hospitality, and they were funded by SoftBank, the same people who funded WeWork. And I mean, WeWork is at zero capacity right now. No one's in WeWorks. So that space sharing situation, I mean, time will tell with those, because they're not growing as fast. They're not doing as much revenue, obviously, with the situation that's going on, because a lot of it's not about tech with them. It's about infrastructure. And I know I'm giving a lot of terms here and a lot of talk throughout this podcast, but hey, we got to get it off. And so the people to watch out for is Airbnb, because their Airbnb was supposed to do their IPO, so they're supposed to have initial public opening this year, but they postponed that, so that stopped. So that's a sign of them not doing as well as you think. Oyo Hotel, that's OYO, Oyo Hotel, which is the same people who funded WeWork. They've sold parts of their hotels. So, the places where you used to see Oyo hotels, they sold it back or they gave it back to the people they leased that out from. So they're having issues. Uber, ride hailing, they're trying to focus on where their money is coming from. And a lot of it's coming from Uber Eats. And they tried buying Grubhub and it didn't work, and because of that, they're not able to kind of take over the market and own that market. So time will tell with them as well. And it's an interesting time to see these tech companies that some of them weren't really like very tech. They're more infrastructure. And it's interesting. Also, there's something that's going down. I kind of want to talk about this before we get off because we're almost done. And okay, there's a Muslim population called the Uyghurs in China. And what I've been reading, and I've been doing a lot of research and looking into this, but the Uyghur population, they're actually doing it's somewhat of a slow genocide for these people. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people already have been either in detention centers or have actually it's in China there's a Muslim population they call the Uyghurs, and they are limiting them almost in a way that was kind of like similar to eugenics. And I don't want to get too into the terms, but eugenics was what inspired Hitler to put on mass genocide towards Jewish people. And it's because in America they came out with how you could create a better set of people by canceling out the bad genes. And if the bad genes don't breed, then you'll have a stronger force, a stronger army. And that's what intrigued Hitler. And he said, wow, let me, he started reading to eugenics, and he says, okay, if we get rid of all the bad genes, people who have any type of issues, or deformities or anything like that, we're going to come with a better race. We're going to make a stronger race. And that's what he was trying to do. And what he thought was the biggest deformity were Jewish people. So that's what inspired his movement. And you see little reflections of that, because eugenics was debunked. And, you see little reflections of that happening where they're like, okay, we could create a better race and a better force if we get rid of the bad genes. So in China, what's happening right now with the Uyghur population is that they're forcing abortions on them, forcing them to take IUDs, and also they're forcing sterilization. They're even arresting people, for having too many children. So they're going back to the whole limiting, the amount of children that you can have. And it's super disturbing because it's not a mass genocide that you're familiar with, like that happened in 1945 with Hitler. But this is like kind of a slow genocide, because the birth rates are down by close to 50% over there, and then they have the Han majority where they encourage them to have more children, but they don't want the Uyghurs to have any children. I think they limit them to one. And then if they have more than one, or they're suspected of having more than one, they do these raids, these police raids where the army and the police will come in and search your home to see if you're hiding any children. And one gentleman, he ended up having 7 children, but he's been in jail. They gave him a year for each child, and he's been in jail not taking care of those kids for 7 years. But women who are found or suspected of having, more than one child are not only put in detention centers, but they're given fluids and, being injected with, different, concoctions that are making them sterile. And it's happened to the minority population there, the Uyghur population. And I didn't realize that they're a Muslim population. So it's very interesting what's happening, because I would like to bring that to attention, because there's atrocities that are happening here in America. There's things that are happening all over. The world is hurting right now. Like even in Yemen, and UNICEF, where they help endangered children. But UNICEF is saying that there's 2.4 million children in Yemen that are at risk of starvation. If they don't start bringing money in, because like a lot of the way that they brought in money before has dried up. So, I just want to bring those attention to some of these other issues that are happening around the world, because I think everyone's fighting for screen time, and especially at this time now where, like everyone's usually with their phones, the news, they want to bring attention to their causes. And I know the Uyghur population that's happening in China, I think that's very important and something to look out for, because I think that's a travesty, but I'm still learning a little bit more about it day by day, and hopefully something happens with that. And then you have the kids in Yemen, the 2.4 million kids who are looking at starvation before the end of this year. So they only have a few weeks before something needs to happen. So again, there's a lot of times right now where action needs to be taken. And I hope that we take that time to see like how we could give, like not only our time, but even our money and our resources towards bringing healing to a lot of these things that are happening, all these travesties. So, interesting episode. Thank you so much for joining me on the first half. As you know, we're coming into the second half with me, myself, and Bly, and that's always really good. So enjoy this conversation with her and I definitely will see you later. Peace out. Thank you for joining me. See you later. Bye-bye.
We're like the news reporters that wear a nice shirt but like underwear, no pants on.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Sipping that water.
Yeah, today was a good day.
Oh, that's good. You had a good day today?
Yeah, you're like, too bad I can't say the same.
My day was all right.
It was okay?
I went back to work today.
Where would you grade your back to work 1 to 10?
I would say probably like a 8.5. It was good.
You got a discount for that sigh you gave before the answer.
No, it was good. It was just like trying to get back into the groove of things. Like I didn't know we opened at 12. So I got there at 11 and I'm thinking the store is already open. And like my manager's texting me like, hey, did you make it to the store yet? Because I can't go in without somebody else coming in. I'm like, I thought you were open at 11. I thought the mall opened at 11. So our hours are weird. It's like 12 to 5.
Is the mall open at 12 now?
The mall opens at 11 to 7. Mm-hmm. But we are operating 12 to 5 because we're very short staffed because half of our team is quarantined. So it's just like, it was just like a weird energy today. Very weird. And it wasn't as busy as usual, but it still was like steady. And the people that were coming in were buying, but it wasn't like busy like it was 2 weeks ago when I left.
You think it's today where the energy's weird, or you think it's like in general, the energy of like,
yeah, I think in general, I think, what's been happening. Like we just got noticed when you picked up the boys from school, it's like, okay, we're closing for the next few days. We'll email y'all and let y'all know. It's just like, what's happening? Are we doing this whole quarantine all over again?
Yeah, I don't think anybody, including myself, is ready to go back to it, because I think everyone wants to just kind of move on and just get to it. But the responses I've been getting today was like, people are like super over it, obviously.
Oh, of course.
But it's kind of like, man, can we get some kind of reprieve? Can we like move on? Can we like what's going on? Well,
the only way we can move on is if people just stay home, or if they choose to go out, wear a mask.
But the amount of freedom that people have right now, and the way they're exercising it,
just being irresponsible.
Yeah, because you're thinking, the people who wear the mask and stay at home are the ones who like finish the group projects on their own.
That's me.
Yeah.
Man, whenever it's time to do group projects, I will always be like, can I just do it by myself?
Yeah, you like, you know what?
Group projects.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Because everyone else is kind of like, doing their thing, having their fun. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what it is right now. So what she's talking about was, like we pick up the boys, and before I'm driving off, like this is what they're doing. Like I strap the boys in, lock them in, they're in the car, and then I'm about to get in the car, and she's like, no, come here real quick, come here. I was like,
but the boy's still in the
car?
car?
Yeah, no. I was like, she's like, no, come here. I was like, hold on. She's like, no, come here. She's thinking I'm trying to leave.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I kind of close the door, and I keep looking back at the car, like, someone could run in there and just drive off. But I was like, all right. And I get there, and it's like a little semicircle, and it's like, she just put the phone. I just got off the phone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's like, just got off the phone, and yeah, unfortunately, due to this whole thing, and she's just talking, you know, she's like, due to this whole thing that's happening, and 2 kids testing positive, not in root group. I was like, so what's going on?
Like the kids are in the car, lady.
Yeah. And then she was like, oh, we're gonna have to be closed. I was like, close what? Close the school? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, when? She's like, tomorrow. I was like, for how long? She's like, we're not sure yet. And then she's like explaining, talking. And then eventually I was like, is this a for sure thing, or y'all thinking this may happen? She's like, oh no, it's for sure. We're definitely closing the door. I was like, oh, okay, well, I gotta go. And then before leaving, I'm like, hey, y'all ain't gonna cash that check, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, go ask them about that check we just gave them yesterday. Because first of all, we paid for a full week, 5 days.
Let's get it, yeah.
And y'all only had our kids in for 2 days. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to prorate it, or I'm gonna need you to refund it, or I'm gonna need you to apply to the next time they come in. Because, like, I hate when that happens, because if y'all don't understand daycare, when you pay for a week, like the money is due on Monday, and your child is out 2 or 3 days that week, you still pay that whole week.
Even if there's a holiday.
Yeah, even if there's a holiday,
the entire week, you're like, shouldn't we get that back?
Right, and then they got the nerve to close on the day of the holiday, and then like the day after. I paid y'all for 5 full days. I'm gonna need y'all to come watch my kids on the weekend or something. Yeah, because that's not right. So
yeah, and now I have the boys. I'm assuming for the next week.
Well, the email said 24 hours to 72 hours. Is that the right 24, 36, 48? Yeah, 72 hours. So that looks like maybe until Monday or Tuesday.
What do you think about the suddenness of the decision? Do you think it's reasonable or unreasonable?
No, it sucks because that happened to me. You know, I don't know if they were aware the entire day and then was like, you know what, we're going to let them know at the end of the day. But that happened to me my last day at work. They sent me an email at like 6:30 p.m. and I was supposed to get off at 7 saying, oh, just to let you know, you need to quarantine yourself for 2 weeks. I'm like, so y'all let me work the entire day and then tell me at the end of my shift that I need to go quarantine myself?
Yeah.
Like that's
probably timing. That's probably timing though. They don't want you to go postal.
Yeah, no, or they tell me in the middle of my shift, I'd be like, well, let me just go home right now. I mean, if I can't be here.
That's true. They want you to get a full day's work.
Exactly.
That's wrong.
That was so messed up. I felt so played.
That's how they strategize it though.
Of course.
When I remember there's a time where they said to us about like best practices about how to fire and things like that, and they said, make sure you fire on Fridays. And this is like when I was first starting business. Yeah. It's like make sure you fire on Fridays. And I was like, why Fridays? It's like, it gives people cool off time, during the weekend, so they don't come back and like
go postal,
and there's a place here in Irving, at Mighty Fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like 15 years ago.
Ooh, I remember you told me this story.
Yeah, so creepy. And they're still open and it still has that kind of aura to it.
Really?
Yeah, and they fired a guy, it went bad. He came back and killed 7 people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, shot and killed a manager, co-workers.
And that's right by our house, right? That's like not even 10 minutes away.
Yeah, not 10 minutes. Yeah.
Beltline, I think.
On Beltline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
That's crazy. And it's like, and I know that people still go there. And I know, like, I wonder how it goes with the stories. Whenever like something like that happens, like let's say I moved to New Orleans, right? And there's a car wash that's like haunted.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
moving, I'm thinking like, oh, this is nice. It's it's a nice little car wash. And I go in and people, like I wonder how people get that story. You know what I mean? Because if you're new here, eventually you're going to hear that story. Someone's going to tell you.
But see, it's different in New Orleans because everything's haunted and, it's always like the witchcraft and voodoo and stuff. So when you share stories like that, it's just like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But when it's happening here, you're just like, that's creepy. I don't ever want to come back here.
Yeah, there's I'm not sure if it's New Orleans, but they're talking about this woman who was like the most evil slave owner. Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
And that they redid her house, but they say the house is haunted.
That sounds like somebody in New Orleans or a house in New Orleans.
But they're saying
Louisiana.
They're saying some stuff, like some crazy stuff. I only mentioned one thing, but they're saying that like she had in the attic. So they had like her enslaved people at her place. One of them was chained, like to the stove, and she was only able to move around in the kitchen. But then the stove, burned up. I guess something burnt, and then the house started to go into flames. So when the fire patrol came, they're knocking down all the doors, and they hear all this screaming, up in the attic, and go in the attic. It's like a dungeon for like all these malnourished like slaves that she would buy, that she would torture. And then one of them had like a hole in his head with a stick in it.
What?
And he was like barely alive, and she's like mixing his brains.
What?
Yeah, like she's like torturing him. And you see you see pictures of her and all the enslaved people around her, and then like her kids. But then they said after that fire happened, obviously no charges were pressed on her, but then like she escaped somewhere and just kind of like went away. But they're saying that you can still, like, someone said that I didn't believe this was true, and then I rode up there on my bike and
you could hear the scream.
No, she said like I could feel the negative energy. When you go somewhere, you just feel it. Yeah. And they said that she's like one of the most evil, I guess, slave owners ever. And but that's just what haunted houses. So I feel like you can feel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it might have been New Orleans though.
Yeah, I feel like it because I know right before I moved to Dallas, I said, you know what, I want to live in my city like a tourist. So I did like all the things that I've always wanted to do. So I did like a haunted tour, and we went to like different homes in like in the French quarters where like slave owners lived or whatever. And there was one lady. The story is very similar, but I don't remember like a slave being chained to a stove, but it could be possible. But I do remember like she had a courtyard and she would do her own like hangings. And so like they said at night, like to this day, you can still hear like the screams of like the slaves being hung. So it was really eerie. And our graveyards are really weird too, because all of our graves are above ground. So it's like, yeah.
That's because of the flooding, right? Man, it's funny. Yeah. I had to write a paper at my junior year of college on it was in philosophy, and we're talking about like this is during slavery, so we're talking about phalluses. You know what phallus is? And they're talking about how a lot of the women, the wives of the slave owners would pick that one slave with a really nice like penis. They'll be like their I would say like not their
prized possession.
No, what's that when a guy is like the guy is her side guy.
Sidekick? Side dude?
No, it's not side
chick.
It's not. What do you call it for a guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, either way.
My side dude?
Yeah, but that was the first phalluses where they'll get the clay and they'll mold it.
Yeah.
And then she would start to trade it almost like as gifts to all the other like so wives, weird. And those were like the first pretty much like dildos. Yeah.
That's so, man, we look, y'all. So a few days ago, Michael and I, we went to this black owned fried chicken spot.
Yeah, it was Helen's Hot Chicken.
Yeah, it was really good. I got like the fried catfish and then you got the wings. It was good. But you have to go inside, order, and then you wait outside. It was like 20 minutes. Yeah. So there was like a sex shop next door, and I was like, oh, let's go in there. So we go in there. We're just like little two innocent kids. We're like walking in with our hands full. They're like, don't touch nothing. And we're just like looking at everything. And then we see the dildos, and they were like
gigantic.
Yeah, it was extreme.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
It was too much.
The butt plugs.
Yeah, the butt beads. I was like, man, people are into some kinky stuff.
Yeah, there's one. What was it? I said, it was like a penis thing that
like a ring.
Yeah, a ring. It was like a little tight, little small ring. I was like, that's what they do with that. It's like, they put it on, it stretches, and then they have one that like, you dip your. I don't want to get too graphic on here.
Y'all need to go. Just go visit and ask a lot of questions. Ask for a personal tour, because we got a personal tour of like literally everything in the store.
Yeah, here's our bestseller.
I was like, where y'all sell section at?
You said where y'all use clothes at?
For real. If I'm a support, where the sell section at?
Would you buy a used toy?
What? That is disgusting.
You could clean it really well.
No, hell no. I don't care if it's dipped in bleach. No, ma'am.
That's so funny.
No, ma'am.
Returns. It's like,
that's
nah,
too disgusting.
anybody no returns.
Oh my. You know what's funny? I don't want to spread rumors, but I heard about Victoria's Secrets. I'm not sure if it's true, but people say the reason why they have like their semi-annual is because all the girls who do like their returns, like when they return underwear, they resell it for them.
For real?
And I'm like, see, that's why I don't shop at Victoria's Secrets. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. And I heard it from someone who worked for Bath and Body Works. And I think they're all like affiliated together, maybe.
Yeah.
I think they're all under the same like company. I'm not sure, but she was like, she was like, that's true. And I'm like, what? I would never.
Something like that happens. There's a carousel. There's a carousel in Target for them selling masks, right?
Mask? Oh, like the...
Yeah, for the COVID-19 mask. Yeah. And there's like a mirror for you to try it on.
Oh, no, that's too much.
So you see people trying it on like... And then putting it back.
That's so disgusting. So is somebody going behind them and spraying it with alcohol?
No.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just go ahead, spreading germs. Lord Jesus.
Man, so at Victoria's Secret, so give me that a little bit behind the scenes. When it comes to trying on.
Yeah, it's gross.
What happens?
So they're supposed to, which I don't think they do have. They're supposed to have like this liner that goes inside of the panty. So once you buy it, you remove it. But when you try things on, it's supposed to protect like you. Well, it's weird.
Hold on, if there's a liner, it's already comes with the liner in it.
Yeah, that you just, it's like a piece of, like it's sticky. It's like a tape,
so you
piece of tape.
Remove
yeah,
it.
you just remove it.
So you know it's like clean and
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But they say try on underwear on top of your underwear, which to me is weird because I need to see what I look like without it on top of my underwear. You know what I mean? So I don't try on panties. I don't try on panties. I mean, bras is different, but I used to be a lingerie specialist, so I know my size, and I don't have to try on anything because I could look at it and be like, okay, yeah, that's gonna fit. But you know, for some people out there, they have to try it on, and I always thought that was weird. Same thing with swimsuits too. I don't like trying on swimsuits.
I don't know if I should even ask, like, how often in your life have you seen, like, okay, someone wore these?
A lot.
A lot? For real?
Yeah, you can. Come on now. First of all, women, like when you wear, you know what I mean? I mean, we're all adults, but yeah, it shows when things have been worn. You remember I talked about this on the podcast when I ordered the baby carrier from Amazon.
And there's milk.
Yeah, and there was milk stains all on the inside. I'm like, seriously, y'all?
Yeah, so it's one of those things that some people just don't care.
They just don't care. Yeah, and I mean, it was probably a new mom who returned it, didn't even think there were stains, or maybe it was wet. So, you know, it was a black carrier, and when things are wet on black, you can't really see it, and then it dried up and you can see like all the milk stains, you know, it's all dried up and stuff. I was like, oh, this is so gross.
Man, I wonder if that was the reason that Victoria's Secret is struggling right now. Like they didn't just pay attention.
I mean, it could be, but a lot of people shop at Victoria's Secrets. A lot of girls that I know, I stopped shopping there like in high school. I just can't. Yeah, it's a personal reason for me, but I don't want to put my business out there. But for those who know me, they know because I'm pretty vocal.
You're gonna be DMing you like,
oh, I know, right? Tell me, please tell me. But yeah, I don't shop at Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, but they're the ones who did the pink, right?
Yeah, pink is cute, but I mean,
kind of like Juicy. Did they steal that from Juicy Couture?
I wouldn't say they stole it.
Remember, Juicy was a big thing.
Juicy was a big thing. I never was into Juicy. At that time, I couldn't really afford it because I think I was like in middle school or maybe high school when it was popular. So yeah, Juicy Couture was pretty big, but I never did Juicy Couture or not Baby Fat. Is it Baby Fat? Yeah, with the kitten. Yeah, I couldn't do Baby Fat either. I couldn't afford those things growing up.
It was expensive?
Yeah,
what could you afford? You wore Tommy.
I wore Tommy Hilfiger. I did, but see, that's different. You know what I mean? When you wear Tommy, it was like back then you had money.
Yeah.
When you wear a Baby Fat, it was like you like ghetto fabulous.
Yeah, but you're saying that you couldn't afford that stuff. And you bought Tommy.
Look. I could afford it. I just didn't want to spend my money on it. So
did you buy? Okay, what kind of shoes did you wear when you were wearing Tommys?
I was wearing Reeboks We wore Reeboks in New Orleans.
They call it Reeds? What is it?
Just Reeboks. We call them Reeboks. Okay. Soldier. What
Soldier Reeds?
Soldier. Was Soldier? I don't know. It was something weird.
Yeah.
It may have been Soldier Slims or Soldier something. Soldier Box. I don't know. Yeah. And then we wore, y'all call them Air Forces, which is the real name. We call them G Nikes. Mm-hmm. So we wore G Nikes, Air Forces, Reeboks, K Swiss. Oh, I love my K Swiss. Yeah.
Which do you remember the name?
I just the original white ones. Mm-hmm. I don't remember no other. Oh, and I had the white ones with like this metallic blue shell toe. I got into my very first fight with a girl in those sneakers, and I was so upset because she stepped all over my shoes. Man, she beat me up too.
Yeah, that was when those K Swiss drops. Mm-hmm. I remember those were a big deal. But then I had the exclusives, the Adidas Oswegos.
What is that?
They just dropped. They just dropped them again. Yeah, and they are
Adidas.
Fire.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Those are fire, but they were the popular brand. I mean, it wasn't a popular thing. You know, what was popular then was the Saucony's.
Oh, you know what? I had a pair of Saucony's. No, I never had a pair of Saucony's. They were Nikes, but they were soft like Saucony's. Mm-hmm. They were, I forgot the name of them, but I used to get those with like the matching socks. So for like PE in high school, I would have like the fresh brand new sneakers with the matching socks, and everybody thought I was rich. I was like, nah, I work at McDonald's.
That's funny. We had I got the N1. You remember the N1?
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
When we would like buy those, look, those would you bust a hole in them in like 3 days, and I'm like, they don't really hoop in these.
Soft.
Yeah, maybe. Look, so soft.
Yeah.
No ankle protection. I was like, they don't hoop in these. There's no way they hoop in these.
I cannot. That's so funny. So did you ever had a pair of Jordans? That's one shoe I never owned.
Yeah, actually, my boy D-Mac got me like my first
in college?
Pair. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never had them before.
Me either.
I actually had Jordans, but I never purchased them. You know, I had like there might be a pair that was either given to me for some reason. Someone got like an extra pair or something like that. Yeah. Or like as a gift. Or something like that. But I remember my first one were the 11s.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, they're the patent leather joints. Yeah, you know the patent, the ones that everyone wears with tuxedos.
What?
You know, everyone wears
maybe
those.
If I see them.
Yeah, I could probably show you.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah,
Google
and I had the black and blue ones. Those were like the ones that were really hard to get, you know. And I end up Jordan
11s. Well, what's your favorite shoe right now? Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, those are like classics.
Yeah, those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
People still wear those to this day.
Yeah, these are the ones I got.
Oh,
no. I got those. The Gammas. Gamma Blue.
Okay.
I still got them up there.
I'm about to say, they look familiar. They all bent up and raggedy in your closet.
No. I only wore those like 4 times.
They look like you wore them like 40 times.
When I say...
4D times.
Yeah, when I got them, I told D-Mac, I was like, hey, can you get it for your boy? And he's like, yeah. And then slid him the bread. He mailed it over.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first pair that I purchased. And I was just like, man, these are like the best.
Did he give you like his discount?
No, he didn't give me a discount.
Did you have to pay extra? Did he make money off of you?
No, he didn't make no money off of me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which is the dope part about it, because it's like, you know, you hit somebody up like, hey, you got me? And he's like, yeah. And he hit me with the price. I was like, this is the actual price of it. You know?
That's me.
Yeah, and I don't even think he even charged me for shipping.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, why would he ship it to you? Y'all were in Beaumont.
No, this was after college.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, these Gammas came out like, I think 07. Like that. I forgot what year they came. Probably like 07 or 08. And I was like, all right, can you get it for your boy?
That's
and he
so
said, yeah.
funny.
And then, but yeah. So what was your question about that?
No, I was saying, what's your favorite sneaker that you have right now in your closet to date? What's your favorite number one sneaker in your closet?
Sneaker? Oh, favorite one is my my YSLs.
Ooh, guess who got them for?
Yeah. Those are my by far favorite, just because they look like the Jordan 1s.
Okay.
And they're black and gold.
My favorite colors.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Who that?
And I love those. Those are by far my favorite, just because they're so premium.
Yeah.
They fit me perfect. I don't know. I feel like those
They're beautiful.
I know it's like a work of art.
Yeah,
and
they're
I'm
nice.
so glad.
I wanted a pair. I wanted to give me a pair.
Should have, because you missed out, because those are the most fire. What is your favorite? I could already tell you.
You don't know.
I don't know.
No, you don't. I think you think you know which one is going to be, but it's not that one.
Okay, so which ones are your favorites?
So my favorite are going to be...
You don't have to be sneakers. It could be any shoe.
No, I would say sneakers. I don't wear them. Mm-hmm. I may have worn them only like 3 or 4 times. And these high top sneakers I got from Paris. You remember the brown Nikes that I have?
Oh, the
super old. Yeah, they're like woven, like a tan and a brown high top Nike sneaker, and they look brand new. And I got them like in 2006.
Yeah, because you wore to the sneaker party that we had at Lamar.
Well, I didn't make it to the sneaker party because somebody got me drunk. Horrible.
Hey, what's up?
I didn't even make it to the sneaker party. It was like a contest, and whoever won, you won money. And I was like,
you know
man.
how much they won? It was like $2,000.
And I knew I was going to win. win. And then I was like, well, let me stop at Michael's crib before I go. He's like, oh, take some drinks. Y'all, I didn't even make it to the party.
He was out of there.
And it's funny because Jerry, you remember Jerry?
Yeah.
He wanted me to design sneakers for him. And back then, that's when I was like super, super into fashion and creative and cuckoo, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm cutting out these patches and I'm like sewing it onto his sneakers and making it more like an Asian themed high top Nike. It was super, super dope.
Those are good times.
Yeah, we had fun.
So when it came to the sneaker, was he trying to win or?
I don't even know if he went.
Yeah, because it was
a
sneaker. I forgot the name of the party. Why am I blanking out?
Was it an Alpha party?
Yeah, it was an Alpha party, but it was like called sneaker something.
No, but it was super cool. Just like everybody getting so excited and hyped up to go. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear these Nikes because nobody have them.
It reminded me of my favorite party at Lamar, which was remember the throwback. So it was a throwback party.
Oh, I don't think I went to that either.
That was our freshman year.
Oh, I wasn't there.
A party for like everyone, like bring the throwbacks, and it was like the one where they had 2 parties in one. They had two DJs, one DJ here, another DJ in another completely separate room. Both the places were packed.
Wow.
Everyone had their throwbacks. So we actually drove, me and Greg. We actually drove to Houston to buy like our throwbacks. Wow. Spent like $200, $250
on it. Trying to come correct.
Came back. Oh man, it was like the best part. I was like, look, what group threw this? It's like the Alphas. I was like,
I want to be there.
I need to be part of this.
See, I like the one of my favorite parties, which I have a million of them, but it was just so creative. The toga party. Was that y'all?
No.
You
talking about that
we had to dress up in like togas?
That's like 8x. Some of the ones that
it was at the set, but I don't know who threw it.
I don't think it was us. I don't know,
but it was a lot of black people up in there, and I made like damn near everybody toga. I don't know, no, because Greg was there. There was a few of y'all alphas in there, but they weren't alphas at the time, and so I remember like girls and guys would like come into my room because I had a sewing machine. They're like, hey, can you make me a toga? And I remember like just going up there and like sewing people's like toga like costumes. And I remember Lisa, I think I like sewn like a tree branch on hers. I was just like thinking out the box like crazy. We had fun. That was a good time. Everybody was like dressed up in all these different colored togas. It was just so fun.
I wonder what they're gonna do now when the college experience is about partying, right? And now that people are talking about like, you know, going back to college or whether you're going to even go back to college in general.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like that is the essential part of college. It is.
And you know what's crazy? Like my first year of college was actually in New Orleans. I went to University of New Orleans and I did a complete year there and I hated it to the point where I wanted to drop out of school. It was so boring and it wasn't that many black people on campus. Because it wasn't that many black people. And the black people that I knew, we were just kind of like, you know, it was just us. And it was so many.
Did it make it like boring?
It made it so boring. It was like no like activity, no life on campus, especially for us black people. So I didn't hear about any parties. There weren't really like a lot of like fraternities or sororities on campus. When I went there was like no representation of Black people. So I was like, this is kind of whack. And I wanted to drop out. And then Hurricane Katrina hit.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I ended up at Lamar in Beaumont. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Lamar was
He took me to my very first college party.
Yeah.
Man, 2005?
Yeah.
See, and then after that, I was like, I love this.
Yeah, it was the best just because it was a constant party. And that was, see, if you took that part out, let's say the COVID-19 hit in 2005.
Yeah.
Then I think a lot of people wouldn't even go to that
No.
school. They're like, why am I even here?
Exactly.
Because a lot of the college experience, especially like PV, U of H,
What is TSU?
TSU, you know, Lamar.
Look, Southern, Grambling,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all those schools.
It's all about that on-campus
exactly.
party experience. And when you don't have that, especially with this whole COVID-19,
I know.
look, I don't know. Because, you know, some people go to college for partying.
No, trust me, I know. Because, man, there were people who would be at every single party, but you never saw them in class. And then you saw people like who would be in class, but was going to every single party. And I think that was like us, you know, and I felt like that was majority of the people at school. Like they would be in class, and then after class you'll see them studying, but then you'll see them at that party. Like nobody was missing a party, but everybody was going to class. So that was kind of cool. But
that is essential. And I remember I had to look, I actually made my classes work around that type of schedule. Because, you know, like if I knew like if parties happen on, let's say, Thursday,
you better get that studying in early.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just so difficult to wake up super early. You know, people remember the 8 a.m. classes?
And I would pick those because I'm a morning person. So 8 a.m., I was like, I need those classes because I'm still like that to this day. I like to do all my duties, everything, all my responsibilities early in the morning. I want to be done by 11, so I have the rest of the day to do nothing. And that's what I did. I had all the morning classes, and then I worked on campus, and I worked off of campus, and then I had the rest of the evening to do nothing.
Man, I'm the complete opposite.
You're the complete opposite.
Sleep in.
That's you to this day.
Yeah, to this day. Because, you know, and my mom knows that, and it kind of gets annoying. She's like, she'll call me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She's like, hey, did I wake you? I was like, Mommy, I'm up. Oh, okay. What are you in the bed? I was like,
because she know you still in the bed on that phone.
I'm working. Yeah.
Working from the bed, probably.
Yeah. And
that's so funny.
Yeah. See, that's why I said, remember, like early, this is a few like podcasts ago where I said I was able to take my first like guilt-free nap. The naps I remember having is like from college where you just, you know, like you finally get through with your classes, let's say around like 1 o'clock, you just lay down until you wake up.
Nap, I know. Man. See, I never really had that though, because I worked on campus. So, and I would schedule it to where I would be like in class from like 8 to 12, and then I would work on campus to like 4 or 5, and then I would work off of campus. So yeah, I made sure like I had like really no breaks in between kind of.
Yeah. So when you worked on campus, like, I remember I worked on campus, but that only lasts like a month, month and a half.
I did it for a couple of years. It's funny because your roommate, Kevin, he got me on because he was working on campus. I was like, Kevin, get me on. I want to work. So he got me on. And then they liked me so much when it was time to like downsize, they fired him and kept me. I was like,
that's awkward.
I know.
But he's good now. You know, he's married and they had twins.
Oh, really?
Twins, yeah.
Man, everybody's like becoming like adults now.
Yeah,
it's so
no,
weird,
it's crazy.
Right?
The crazy parts are when you become like the crossover of becoming adults. Yeah, marriage. Yeah, children.
Right.
What do you think is a thing where you're like, oh yeah, now we're like getting older?
Grandkids?
No, I feel like gray hairs.
No,
I feel like when you see when you see somebody, because you know, think about it.
That's
like,
true.
I didn't have a beard in college because I don't think I was capable of growing a full beard.
No, you were not. You had the little baby mustache.
Yeah. So then whenever you get to a certain age, let's say 25, you're able to start growing like full beards. You're like, whoa, what is this? And that becomes like a little era.
Yeah.
It's a moment you start getting like grays.
That's true.
I mean, you know, some people get grays like in high school. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah,
there's a different type of gray whenever you get like when it's based on like age versus like hereditary. And then you're like, man, we really getting older. Because, you know, when you're 22, 23, I might even speak for like 21. I even told my mom this today. She said it hurt her feelings, like it hurt her heart. I was like, when I was 21, 22, I never thought past 30.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah, she's like, you didn't think past 30? I was like, yeah, I didn't think past 30. I just didn't I just didn't plan for it.
Yeah,
I just
either.
knew I had goals that I wanted to meet by 30. But honestly, I didn't even know if I was going to get to 30. And she's like,
Oh no.
yeah, but it's not like I felt like I was going to die.
Oh, okay.
It's just that
You
I
just
never
didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know, you could imagine 21.
Right.
You could imagine like 25.
Yeah, but not 30.
30,
No.
I don't know how I'm
true.
thinking then. You know what I mean?
That's true, because I remember like after college, I think I was like 22 or 23. I was working in the mall back at home, and there was a girl who worked in the mall, which I think she still works there. And at that time, well, no, I mean, nothing wrong. I work in the mall, so nothing's wrong with that. But I'm just saying, I think she's been with this company for so long. And I remember when she was turning 30, and everybody was like, she looked good for her age. I'm like, she looks damn good. Because in my mind, I thought 30 was old, you know? So when they were like, man, she's turning 30, man, she looks good. I'm like, she does. She don't even look 30. She look like she's like 22 like me, you know?
Man, why is it that?
It's crazy.
Why is it that?
I don't know. And she wasn't even that much older than me. So now that I see her and we're, I guess 8 years apart, I mean, she still looks the exact same. She don't look like she's 40. But I don't know. When I was younger and I heard 30, I just thought 30 was so old.
I thought 30 was old. And, you know, like when I meet people who, like I remember when I was 31 and there's this, like someone I knew who was like 22 or 23. And they'll always seem like, but you're old.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh.
No.
I was like, first off, you're going to be 30 one day.
I know.
But, you know, they're like, yeah, well, they don't think that.
No,
you
they
know?
don't.
And
exactly.
everyone, you know, all the rappers, right? They always talk about, they always make fun of people who are above 30. And then when they get close to 30, they're like, oh, you know, I should have known better. Da, da, da,
oh, my
you
God.
know? But yeah, I think like after 30, that's to me, I feel like whenever you start seeing like the gray mustache, the gray pepper through all through hair and all that, then you start to feel like we're coming of age.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And then some people embrace the age thing, right? Which is, which I do.
Of course you do.
Do you?
I mean, I do a little bit. I feel like I don't look my age. People still think I'm younger than what I am. I mean, I definitely feel like my age.
Well, this woman, she's like 50 something. And she was like, I never want to go back to being young because, you know, like the things I didn't know then, the ignorance and the stuff I know now, like, I'm glad I'm here where I'm at based on what I know and all the experience. And I was just like,
She sounded like she'd been through a lot when she was younger.
yeah, I was like, sound like a little insecure.
I know. I mean, I'm good at my age, but you know what? I don't know what's like an old age. I think because my grandfather, I want to say he passed away in his 80s, like early 80s. He looked like he was in his 60s. He acted like he was in his 50s, and he had a girlfriend who was like in her 50s, like she was young, you know, and so he was just very lively and young, and he would go dancing and out to eat, and he was still driving, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what's old.
Well, I know how you're gonna look because your mom.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, you called her sexy the other time.
No, her mom put a sexy photo as her profile picture. It wasn't like she was in lingerie or anything. Like she
better not be.
Yeah, she was just like looking
It
like
wasn't
hair
sexy.
flowing.
It was like not flirty, but it was just like very innocent. Like,
yeah, but
cute.
the pictures of like women who were like, I'll say 50, 60, but they look younger.
My mom.
But they're like have something with their hair, and then like younger people be like, who's old girl?
Oh my God.
Or, Grady looking like a box of, looking like a snack or whatever it might be.
I better leave my mama alone.
But so
her kids are crazy.
Yeah, you have great genes, so I wouldn't worry about that. Like, because you and your sister look hella young.
Yeah, especially my sister.
Yeah, like
she's like a kid. And she teaches in high school. I'm like, girl, you look like one of those students. She looks so young.
Do you feel okay? I feel like when you talk about like what's old, I feel like old is 100.
See, even that, I feel like it's like a state of mind thing.
Yeah, because
there's some old people that's 100 and they still be like sharp. In there. Yeah, they be dancing. You know what I mean? They be moving and stuff, but they're sharp, very sharp. Yeah. Still can have a conversation with you. And then you see some people at 100 that's just kind of like, they quiet. They just
tired
enjoying.
Of life.
Yeah, they just like, all right, God, whenever you're ready.
One woman who was like turning like 102 or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And she was like, take me. Like, I'm tired of being here. She's like pissed off. She's like, what could you say? She's like, look, I need to go. I'm tired of being here. I
That's
cannot
so
die.
funny. She was like, I already seen my great babies. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, because you know when you're old, like when I'm saying like 95 and above, and you do anything, it's almost like how kids, you know?
Yeah, of course,
like you get it on video, and the old guys doing like, hey, you're like, oh, get it.
But you know, it probably sucks because they, you know, they've been on this earth for so long, and now they have to be treated like children. You know what I mean? They have to be told when to eat, what to eat. Then they have to be bathed and, you know, have to be changed. So they're just like, I don't want to do this.
No,
I know
crazy.
me. I'd be like, just take me, because I'm not trying to have nobody wipe my butt.
You know, it's funny. You say that. You said the perfect thing, because I remember there's a thing that they said that people, after they get to a certain age, or when they said, if I ever become like in an accident, or you know, like you see me like on deathbed or anything like that, just cut it off. Just let me die, right? Everyone thinks that, but then they actually do like interviews on the people who, let's say, got into an accident or anything like that. The last thing they want to do is die.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They literally want to fight.
Yeah.
And they said, like, because, you know, everyone looks at it like, look, that can't be me. You know, someone changing my diapers. And, you know, helping me eat. And for the majority, not everybody. You know, some people are like, hey, just let me go. But the majority of people were saying, like, look, if you see me like that in a vegetative state, or in a way that, like, I'm just not taking care of myself, hey, pull the plug. Until that, in that position, they're like, hey, they're fighting to, like, stay here.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I guess I just don't want to be a burden. You know what I mean? I don't, because I saw my mom take care of her mom when she had a stroke. I saw my mom take care of her dad, you know, when he was sick with cancer, and it is a lot.
What do you mean? Like, it's heavy emotionally?
It's very, emotionally, physically, because, you know, my mom had to, and my mom is the youngest of 6. And so when my grandmother passed away, my mom was in her 30s, you know, and just imagine us being in our 30s having to take care of our parents, you know, and having to bathe them and feed them and clothe them. And, you know, it's a lot. It's very hard. It's very heavy. So I know for me, watching my mom do it with both of her parents, I'm like, I don't want to have to put that responsibility on you or the kids or anything like that.
For real?
Yeah, I feel like, because even I was there, you know, I lived with my my grandfather when he was sick. And so I saw my mom, you know, do it. I helped out a lot. So it's a lot, you know, it takes a lot out of you. It's very emotional, and, you know, it's physical too. It's mental. It's very heavy.
Yeah, I feel like it's really exhausting, but to me, personally, I don't know how I feel if it was later, but I feel like it'll be an honor. You know what I mean? I love to take care of my parents. Right. You know, given that I have the means, you know what I mean?
Well, I get that. I would love to take care of my parents too, but I'm saying, if I was in that case, I would hate for you to take care of me, or for the boys, or the boys to take care of me. See, I don't know. I can help you forever. I could do it forever.
You know, I think,
but I wouldn't want no one to do it for me.
You know, I always think stuff like that, like, you know, like, how deep does the love go? You know what I mean? I'm like, I feel like you're completely irreplaceable in that, like, no matter what, right? That, you know, I would, like, you know, when you see it to the end, it reminds me of that movie,
Titanic?
No. What do you want? What do you want? And she's like, I don't know.
Oh, The Notebook?
Yeah, The Notebook.
I don't think I've seen that movie before.
Oh, okay. Well, spoiler alert.
But I know that part, so.
Yeah, and they were there to the very end.
Yeah.
He was taking care of her, reading books to her, even though, like, she didn't remember him the way, like, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's me, you know, when it comes to you, because, you know, like, there is no replacing you. So I look at it, like, in the sense that if it was, like, that bad, it'd be an honor. You know what I mean?
Y'all, he gonna lock me in the bedroom all day. He gonna feed me breakfast and dinner, and that's it. I'm gonna take a bath probably twice a week, if that.
Nah, because if I don't do it, your boys will.
I know. But see, that's the thing. Boys are a little different. They're a little different when it comes to taking care of their parents. It's usually the girls who step in and take care of their parents, especially when it comes to, like, you know, privacy, when it's like time to give them a bath and cook and stuff. But hopefully, you know, because I have boys and boys love their moms, you know, hopefully they'll take care of me and not put me in a nursing home.
Unless we have a girl. Look at you.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
saying, quarantine, baby.
Yeah, you said I don't want to put it on the record.
Quarantine.
He stopped that. I wonder why he stopped.
Probably because it was annoying.
Yeah, like
quarantine.
Yeah, we just saw recently the Versus with Jadakiss.
Oh, Jadakiss and Fabulous.
Yeah, what do you think?
The first hour was a waste of time, because who's trying to listen to some underground stuff?
Yeah,
I ain't know none of them songs.
They gave it to Jadakiss.
I mean, my brother, he listened to rap growing up, so whatever he listened to, I listened to. So I heard Jadakiss and Fabulous. I heard all those songs. So it wasn't until like the last, I guess, 30 minutes that I recognized pretty much all the songs. But before that, all that underground stuff, the mixtapes, I don't be knowing all that.
I know
stuff.
they went super underground.
Yeah, they did.
You had to be from New York to really know what's going on.
And then Jadakiss want to play songs that he wrote for. I was like. Come on, Jadakiss, you ain't got no other hits that you could play real quick.
Like, yeah, he kind of outed Diddy.
Even I was like, I didn't know Diddy had ghostwriters.
Yeah, my sister said, I didn't know that. What is it? Jadakiss wrote that for Diddy, but everyone knew that Diddy didn't write that himself.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, which is true.
Which one? The sun don't shine forever. That one?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought Diddy did it. There's
no way. I thought Biggie wrote that for him.
Really? Mm-hmm. I guess I just thought Diddy was a rapper.
No, he has a lot.
He was like a straight up hype man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hype man. He did rap, but people wrote it.
Yeah,
he wrote raps.
I guess I thought he was a rapper. I mean, I still like Diddy.
Yeah, I know.
Diddy, Dirty Money.
I got a word for you.
What's that?
Fastidious.
What?
It's not. It's like called like fast. Mm-hmm. Tedious. So. Fastidious is the like
sound like festivities.
Yeah, sounds like that.
Okay, what's the word again?
Fastidious.
Yeah,
but people say it like fastidious. Like if someone's very fastidious, that means they're like hella picky, overly like detailed with things. You know what I mean? Like
it kind of sounds like me, but not really.
No, your sister's fastidious when it comes to eating.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So she's very. It has to be like this.
Yeah, nothing can touch nothing. Yeah, that's true.
That's a fastidious eater. It's an adjective.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, I made sure to get the,
Is that a noun or a pronoun?
Yeah. And so fastidious to me is like a nice, juicy, soft word.
Yeah.
Things with F's.
Right.
I's and like D's. Those are like smooth ones, but like being fastidious is like really being ultra like like I say, what is it? I'm trying to think of the
loquacious.
No, picky.
Oh, okay.
Ultra detailed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it like micromanager or anything like that, but
kind of close to it.
Do you have like fastidious customers that come in?
Yeah.
People who the ones who say like, hey, looks like there's a little.
Oh my God.
That happens a lot.
I had one customer who exchanged the same exact handbag like 9 times. Like you would give her the bag, she would look at it, then she's like, okay, can I have another one? She'll compare it, and then she'll compare it, and then she'll pick the best one. Then she'll go home, and then the next day she'll come back and say, I saw like a little thread. Can I exchange it for another one? And then one time she even asked me if I could bring all the handbags out from the stock room so she can compare all of them. I told her, ma'am, I was like, I'm not doing that. These are the 4. You're going to have to pick one out of the 4. Like, I'm not about to go in the back and bring 30 handbags, the exact same bag in the same color for you to choose the best one. I'm not doing that.
I'm empathetic towards her, though.
Not me.
Reason why is because I feel like I'm kind of like that, but not when it comes to shopping.
You're not that extreme.
No, not that extreme. Like, if I, like, I remember this when I'm younger, when it came to, like, getting a toy.
Yeah.
Every time, for some reason, the toy I'll pick have like a scratch or something that's like off, a little small little dent or chip, and it'll ruin my world. Yeah, I'm like, oh, and
that's
because
Idol,
of that,
our oldest son, he's like that too.
It has to be like soft. Like if I got a phone, or a cake or something that's a little tiny, like something, I don't even want it, and it ruins my seeing it almost destroys me.
See, you're the customer where you want to be able to put the mark on your phone. You don't want to buy it like that.
Yeah, it's just something about it. Just like when I used to grocery shop, I used to do this when I was grocery shopping, where I get the second one behind or third one behind. I used to go way back just to not get the one that
in the front.
Because, those are the ones with like a little tiny this or a little tiny that on it, or could potentially have germs or whatever. And I'm super picky when it comes to those choices.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I still kind of have it now.
Yeah.
I try to be like less picky. I just grab the second one.
Yeah.
But I used to like look for the box.
Perfect
Yeah,
one.
the perfect. When it comes to toys, I'll look for the perfect one. If that store didn't have like the right one, I'll go to another store.
What?
Yeah, because
I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, I know you are, because you could get it and you're like, it's just shoes. I'm like,
I know, because I work in retail, so I don't mind buying a display. I buy the display all day long, because when you work in retail, you just know pretty much every single shoe you have in the stock room has been tried on by someone. So when you try on a display and you're like, you know what, I don't want that. I want a new one that nobody tried on, one in the back. How do you know that somebody didn't try the shoe on?
I think you know in your heart.
No, you don't know. That's what I'm saying, because I work in the store. I know. Yeah, I know somebody just tried this shoe on that I'm selling to you. I may tell you that it's brand new and you're the first one to try it on, but that's a lie. Yeah. So, will
those people ever be happy?
No.
I feel like that's
people won't be happy.
That's why I feel like I'm empathetic towards them, because I'm like,
because you're one of them.
Yeah, because how can you ever be happy when it has to be perfect?
It don't have to be perfect for me.
I might have to write that. That might be a little drop.
Oh my God. For me, I'm okay with buying a display. I don't want it to look like, like it's been worn. But if it has a few little imperfections on it, I'm okay. Especially when it's shoes. I'm like, they're going to get dirty anyway. They're shoes.
Ooh, you are different.
Even when they have a crease, I'm like, I'm going to put a crease in them anyway.
Ooh, you are 100% different.
I don't be tripping about that.
Wow, you're a very easygoing person.
Well, you know what they say. I don't know what they say.
Well, this was definitely a great one.
It was.
I enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot listening out there, watching out there. This is a fun one. Did you have a good time?
I did. I always have a good time.
Any closing messages for anybody?
Man, y'all stay safe.
I feel that.
For real. That. And that was from the bottom of my heart. Just stay safe.
100%. And we're going to holler at y'all. Peace out. And if you didn't meet your goal, it means that you didn't give it your all.